Let's get it.
Alright. So who do we got with us today? Cause again, I was just talking about this. Niggas can't call you Papa, but who we got?
Yo, listen, if you a nigga, you ain't gotta call me Papa, but at the same time, my name is Papa Chev. You feel me? Or you can call me Chev. It really don't matter. Chevy. I tell people it's Chevy just like the car. You feel me? So you can shorten that shit up however you want to.
Where that name come from?
I'm gonna tell you a funny story. When I first I moved down to Florida, um, I had met I had met my homeboys and shit. Well, like I was sitting at this gazebo at this college and I was smoking and shit, and one of my homeboys had like came up to me and we just hit it off from there. So then we had exchanged numbers and shit. I gave him a call, but he didn't answer. So I left him a voicemail saying that my name was Jimmy, and then he called me back or whatever or the next day, and he just started calling me Chevy because he was like, "I thought you said Chevy," and I was like, "Nah, I said Jimmy." And he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna just stick with Chevy." And ever since that day, the name just stuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like a misunderstanding turned into everybody just calling me Chevy.
Alright. So where does Chevy come from?
Well, like that's I mean like that's where it came from as far as
No, no.
like
Where
just
do
like
you come from? Like shoot, you
oh
Chevy, or where do you come from?
well born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Um, I stayed in Pennsylvania as well. Like that's where I went to like middle school and finished high school and shit like that. I stayed in Ann Arbor. That's like maybe like 20, 30 minutes from Detroit, but originally from the west side of Detroit.
What are you? Like Spanish, black, like
Nah, I'm black, but I am part Irish. You know, like my last name is Fitzpatrick. Everybody wouldn't really know that. I got you see, I don't look Irish at all, but I got like some type of Irish in me. I'm probably not like 50-50 black and Irish, but I'm probably like at least like 10-15% or whatever.
so. Where was it that you mainly like grew up?
Mainly, I stayed in Detroit until fifth grade, and then we moved to Ann Arbor. But then for like the half of middle school all the way through high school, I stayed in Pennsylvania, like near Allentown, Bethlehem, and shit.
Mm.
So I guess you can say a little bit of the childhood was in Michigan, then the rest of it kind of scattered to the East Coast a little bit. So it's like I'm like a Midwest slash East Coast type. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how was the childhood? Like school, this neighborhood. How was all that?
I mean, it was cool, man. Like I was the new kid on the block type shit. Like a fucking the first day I actually moved to Pennsylvania or whatever. It was I didn't know like why my mom had like was just taking us out there just for some random shit, but it was for her job. She was finding a new job and everything, and then like I ended up starting school out there. Like my first day, I went to that middle school. I actually made a friend like that first day because when you go to the office and shit, you got to sign up, and I met like two people that first day. I still know them to this day, which is crazy. But you know what I'm saying? Like I had walked into class and shit, and one of my friends to this day still he was like, "Hey, Janelle, me and you aren't the only black kids in the class anymore, because this the school was mainly Spanish and like white kids and shit like that. Like it was black people, but not too many. But it was mainly like Spanish and black people. So it was cool.
shit crazy. Cause I went to school in Syracuse. Nigga, I was like one of five minorities in that school. So that shit is crazy.
That shit is crazy, bro. Like Spanish neighborhood, like because it wasn't really a Spanish neighborhood, but it kind of was. You feel me? Like it kind of was. Like a lot of my friends is well back then. Like a lot of my friends was either white or like the ones that I know, the motherfuckers was black. But I still knew a lot of the Spanish kids and shit and the white kids, so it was a nice little transition
What's like a memorable day on a block that you could think of?
back then.
Niggas
I
broke
do
into the
remember like
ice cream truck on my block. I don't know. The niggas was lit that day. They took the cash register, like shit like that. Like, just some funny shit that.
I mean I ain't really have no cause like the neighborhood I was like I ain't really have like no damn memorable too much memorable shit. Well, like it was a time where at school it was a time where like the Spanish kids and the black kids was like fighting like every day, and it was a point in time where the Spanish kids it was the Spanish niggas versus the black kids and shit. And it was just fighting every day, and
Damn,
you
y'all
know what
was
I'm
having like
saying.
race wars and shit. That's crazy.
No, I did. No, straight up, like that's what it was. Just like one of my homeboys was just he was like one of the main niggas that was fucking in that shit, and fucking you would just see like we'll come out of class one day and like it was kind of like a standoff type shit. You feel me? And it was just like, that shit was going on for like a week, maybe like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like getting
Niggas getting
home
off like the
became a
bus stop.
problem. Like that shit.
Yeah, well, like it was if for me it was just mainly like at school, and you know what I mean, like that shit kind of transitioned to like freshman year a little bit too. Then after that, it kind of like died down a little bit, but that's what it really was, you know.
But how was
Like, as far as, like
how was school for you though?
I mean, school for me was cool, man. I ain't really get into, I ain't gonna say I ain't get into no trouble, but from like fifth grade all the way to like 12th grade, I was either getting suspended or goddamn detention and shit for some weird shit, man. Like,
They just had something out for you.
listen, it was a time where I was like remember I told you like that first day of school, I got detention the first day of like when I got to school like the first day because I called the teacher. Her name was Dr. Draper. I called her Mrs. Draper. She was like, see me after class." Well, no, see me after school. Detention and
Nah,
shit. I'm like,
see
what
me
the fuck,
after
right?
school is crazy. That's fighting
It
words.
is good, but I mean, it was still school was still cool, man. Like I was known as like if you was my homeboy, I tell all my homeboys. If we was cool and you seeing somebody that you liked, somehow, some way, either I knew her or I knew one of her friends. And if you wanted to get in, whether you wanted to smash or you just wanted to, you know what I'm saying, know her, I can like link y'all up and shit. I ain't gonna say I was the nigga that if you wanted girls, come to me. Like, don't do that. But like certain times, if you wanted something,
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
get
you were
you in
better
there.
with the words.
Yeah, like, I can get you in there for real. For real. I ain't gonna hold you.
So you graduate?
Yeah, yeah. Graduated in '09.
No college, no.
I did a little like community college and stuff like that. Like I ain't never graduate from college, but I went to a few schools.
Alright, so how's the family? Like mom, dad, who you grew up with?
Mainly, to be honest, it was mainly my dad was around, but not like that, like that. Like mom, I don't think my mom ever married or anything like that. But I got you feel me? She was the main reason, or like the main person that was like just there. Like you ain't got to be like right, like I ain't gonna say right there, but like somebody that I see every day. It was moms and shit. You feel me? So
Nah, I've been asking everybody this on the interviews, but what's one quote that your moms gave you that you always, that now that you're an adult, you kept with you? I was about to say that we always kept with us, but a lot of us never really listened at the time.
I used to hate when she used to tell me. I used to hate when she used to tell me, you know, when you grow up, have like one or two friends that's like really there for you. Like you'll be lucky if you have more. And like to this day, that shit's kind of right because like I only got like as far as like I got a couple best friends, but like two main ones that I talk to every other day, every day. It's really only two of them, and this ain't counting like nobody on Bigo or anything like that. Like this is like niggas that like I know in person. It's really only two that I like fuck with. You feel me? So it's like I always remember. I know I used to hate when she used to tell me that shit because I'm like I'm, I'm I'm trying to change that to where like I can have a lot more like close friends and shit. But at the same time, it's like she was right, so I can't even be mad at it.
So what did you do, like as jobs, like side jobs, there's little shit like that?
Mainly like customer service, or I used to do door to door. I worked at fucking Chuck E. Cheese for a day, and then I got fired because I didn't have like a red shirt or whatever. No, I'm dead ass. Like, listen, 'cause I showed up to work, and I'm thinking, you show up to a job, like they give you like a shirt or whatever you need for the job, or they give it to you before. They never gave me like no shit like that. They told me to go to Foreman Mills and get like a red shirt to come back to work or whatever. I didn't do that. I never showed back up after that day. They can eat a dick, but mainly like customer service or
So out of all those jobs, what do you think is like, what you think you're good at when it comes to working? Not your passions, but just like working hands on shit.
so like what I'm like I'm good at or like just like
What you like?
well I got a couple that I liked. I used to do this door to door job in Philly where we would go like house to house to like get like kids saved. Like it's a job called Child Fund. Like those commercials that you see 25 cents a day or shit like that. Like, I used to do that for like 2 3 years. That was actually cool as fuck because it wasn't like a base pay job. It was more of a like a commission job. So whatever you got that week, you get paid. Whatever
And
you
that's
got
the
that day.
thing, people hate that shit.
I love that commission shit, man, because
Yeah,
you
what's
get
the
paid off of
difference? Just for the people who don't
well,
know.
listen, like the difference between the base pay and the commission job, a base pay, they tell you, if you get hired for $13 an hour, you're gonna get that every week, regardless of what you do. The commit, well, like a base pay, you feel me? Like if you get hired at a job and they tell you, I'm hiring you for $15 an hour, da, 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 you're gonna get paid that $15 an hour, however many hours you doing shit like that. You're gonna get paid that $15 an hour regardless. You feel me? For the commission, you can work as many hours as you want to, but you get paid off of what you do. You feel me? So like the child fund, each child was like I don't want to say each child like that, but every time you got somebody to save a child, that'll be like I think somewhere between like 80 to like 100, like $100, because you got to get them saved. They sign up, and then once you call in like back to the office and they get the information and all that shit, and they put it in the system, that's a sale. So you would get, I forgot how much it was. I'm just rounding off. It was like 70 to like maybe 100 or some shit like that. So if you get like 8 kids saved that week, your check's gonna be like over 800. So
Cause some jobs they don't be like that. They wait till the people make they gotta make a
oh yeah, that
purchase.
first payment and say yeah, 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 you're right. Like
So
once they because the one like once they sign up, I think they how did they do it? They like if I signed you up right now and you put in your shit, I think it once your payment goes through after like that, I think it takes like a couple of days or some shit like that. Like once it goes through and then you don't cancel within that first month, then you're good. You feel me? So
So,
that shit was definitely cool.
and you said there was another one.
Yeah, well, it's not. Well, you know what it is. I used to work on a food truck. I worked on a food truck, like in the kitchen and shit, like on a grill. That was actually cool as fuck because we got to travel. I used to do the like little mini events or whatever, like throughout the city and little neighborhood and shit. But that food truck to work for NASCAR, like little Daytona 500 and shit like that.
Oh
So
yeah, that's Brad.
listen,
That's Brad.
I used to be there at them fucking like whatever races motherfuckers see on TV and shit, the little NASCAR, the little Daytona. I used to be there behind the scenes and shit, like one of the little food trucks. Like they used to go different states to state and shit. And that was probably one of my favorite ones. Even though I've gotten fired from that job like two, three times, but he would call me back like the same day because he know he needed me. I was nice at that shit. Feel me? So I was actually cool as fuck.
What do you do now?
Right now, I'm a crosswalk, not like a crosswalking guard, but like I work for this college. Like if they have like different events and shit like that, and like they need somebody to like help the traffic move a little faster, people getting out their cars and all that shit. That's me. Like that's the only work, or that's not the only work I can do, but I can't like do too much anymore because of the my damn surgeries that I done had and shit.
Are you contracted?
With them,
No, no, I'm just saying on the app.
yeah, yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
somebody's
so
contract.
I mean, so you a host and streamer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so where did the, because I know you have a book, but where did that come about? Like, because a lot of that's not a wave a lot of people have been going into, but everybody again like podcasts, everybody wants to, but they don't step into.
Right. I mean, I've always been nice with words, bro. Like I've always like
Well, yeah, you
it's
didn't go
easy
into that because you said you do
for me
poems
to.
and shit like that. Like, have you done stand up and?
Well, I mean, I've done like a couple open mics and shit like that, but like I've never doing poetry and writing and shit. Never has been like. Even though I've been nice with words and shit like that, like I can write an essay one time and edit it and shit like that and turn that in rather than turning in a rough draft and then I turn in everything straightforward how it is. You feel me? But like,
Yeah, but where did it become? Like I said, a passion more than more than just a job.
well, I'm gonna say this after because I tried to do like me and my boys tried to do like the rapping and shit like that. Like I got a few songs and shit like that, but then like I'm one of those people that like wanted to like if we friends or we doing shit together, I want everybody to eat at the same time. You feel me? So it's like once I figured out that niggas don't want to do that anymore, I was like, you know what? I'm still nice at this shit. Let me take it a little bit more serious. But then after I had my surgeries and shit like that, I was like, you know what? Let me take this shit a little bit more serious. Maybe that's God telling me, listen, go with your passion or go with something that you really love. Because if you hear people talking about like how they got to where they got to, they doing something that they love. And doing something that they love, they probably not gonna get paid for it right this minute, but it's gonna come as long as you stick with it and shit. You feel me? So I feel like probably like in the last like handful of years, I was taking it serious, and then I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and drop this book, and see what I can.
So what is the process of like, dropping a book?
Truthfully, I can only tell you my process. Like I didn't really. I'm not the type of person. I don't got like 1,000, 2,000 poems and shit like that.
Oh, so
But
you just put poems together, and, like, cause I didn't know if you had to like rough draft it, just put on paper, like, shit like that.
no, like you don't even gotta. My process, I might have it to where, cause I do all this shit on my phone and shit like that. So like, I'll write some poems and then like just move on to the next one type shit. But it's just one of these things to where somebody seen my shit or whatever, and they was like, you know what, you kind of got like two, three books just, just sitting
Like
here,
worth of
and
stuff, yeah.
right, right, and I didn't know how much you needed for a book. You feel me? Like yeah, I didn't know how much you needed to. I didn't know how much you needed for like what I'm saying, like a book or anything like that. But at the same time, if I got like 50, 60 poems just sitting here, I didn't know like that was like book worthy. I'm thinking you got to have like at least like 100 to 200 poems in a book for it to be like an actual book.
Yeah, because when you think about books from back then, they was just, stacks.
Yeah. So
You got the book
it
with you,
was,
right?
of course,
What's it called?
Papa's Poetry Corner. It's about it's about 45 poems up in this bitch. You feel me? 45 poems up in here. And truthfully, you want to know the backstory behind that, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I write I write poems about love. You know what I'm saying? So
There it is. Okay, okay.
listen, all of them aren't about love. Like it's probably like a couple poems that are just like poems. You know what I'm saying? Just regular like little everyday like little poems and shit. It's a couple breakup poems up in there, but mainly they're about me talking to a female. You feel me? Now I tell everybody the same shit. I haven't met this woman yet, or I probably already have, and I just haven't noticed her yet. You know what I'm saying? But it is somebody that I talked to, and I told her, like, listen, most of these poems are for you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just I'm gonna keep writing. I also told her that they are for you, but at the same time, like if this doesn't really like work out in our favor, you feel me? These poems are just for a woman that I'm like manifesting.
What's one of them that really stands out? Like one that you always go to, from the book.
There's this poem up in here called "It's the Love You Smell on Me." Now that one's about me, but it's more of a like a it's more of a like if you don't know me, then if you read that poem, like you'll know the type of person that I am because I'm not dramatic. I ain't, you know what I'm saying, out in these streets and shit like that. Like my aura is gonna give off, oh, he's about love, or he's just real genuine and calm and shit like that. Like he's one of those. Read that poem and you're gonna really see what type of person I am.
And
Man.
where can get like people get it?
I don't like telling people this, but if you type in Papa's Poetry Corner on Google, that first link is gonna bring you to the Amazon little bookstore. You feel me? It'll be right on there.
And yeah, you could send me the link. You could drop that on the video too.
I got you.
But yeah, so you know, I see that, like you just said, you is about love. So what's your purpose? You feel me? Like something happened. You feel me? Like are you like you say you trying to find something? That's what it is. Like where is it that all, like the purpose of the book, just everything. Where does it come from?
You ever just like daydream about like the life that you want, or like just somebody that you want and shit, and you're just like, you know what? I can't touch you right now, but if I keep not even keep thinking about it, if I just manifest that shit, it's gonna come true. Most people don't have patience and they don't have no type of, like they got the urgency, but they want that shit right now. Everybody want to be a millionaire. Everybody want this and that right now, but they know this shit takes time. You feel me? It takes time, and it's just as long as it as long as you see that vision in your head, as long as you see that vision in your head and, and you see it a lot, it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So
But
you just gotta.
is it you're picturing, because when you envision things, it's kind of like you know the it's the vision. So it's like, what if the
Right,
person doesn't, like, the person looks like that, but it's like, then how do you keep that? Because it's like you gotta be detailed on what you're manifesting.
right. No, it's not about like the actual person. I guess you feel me? Like you just envisioning
The
somebody
actions that
that you
come with
want.
that
Yeah,
lifestyle that you.
right, right. But then if I always say this too, if I'm not doing this for myself, then I'm trying to give other people the hope that listen, as long as you wait for that love that you're looking for, waiting for that shit that you really want, it's gonna come. You just gotta be fucking patient. You feel me? Like
I
I'm
know,
not
but
about to.
what's your message to the people who are impatient? You know what I mean? Because you gotta convince them somehow that.
Nah, you do. You just listen. If you are impatient and you just don't, and you just want that shit right now. You feel me? You can't teach patience. I guess. I mean, like you can teach patience, but like I can't just tell somebody like, "Yo, just wait, it's gonna come." That's just like
Yeah, and
motherfuckers that
then on the
like,
other half of people, you can't just go around telling people like, "Yo, just go through it." Like, I know that's the best, but it's like you don't want everybody to just be going through that shit.
going through what, like the actual
Just
like,
just the heartbreak, the loss of relationships, family, friendships, just everybody. Well, I'm more talking about relationships in that one. It's just
right?
stuff to do in that.
I mean, listen. Everybody doesn't have to go through that, but if you do go through it, like you'll know, okay, you know what? Maybe I rushed into this a little bit. Like maybe I fucking just wanted to do this because they look good or because they feel good at the moment and shit like that. That's cool, but at the end of the day, love gotta last. You feel me? Like love doesn't not find you. Like love always finds you. It just takes time. And if you ain't got that time, then keep going on the same pattern that you're going on. And if you ain't got nothing with no substance or anything like that, then you feel me? Like shit is not gonna. It's gonna sound good, but it's not gonna taste good. You feel me? So
That's a fact. So let's get into the messages. First message: what is something that you could tell to your younger self, like at this point?
at this point, younger self, I
Yeah,
can tell.
cause you at where you at, and you know what you went through. So it's like, you know, it could have been like, when you there's like an age where you go through some traumatic shit. So that could be the age of 10, 12, 13. You feel me? What's the message that you could tell to your younger self that you kind of you know developed through the years?
You've always you've always been an old soul since you was a little kid, but just know that what you really, really want to do, start it now and don't wait for it. Because it's not gonna be a time where it's not gonna be a time to where like you can like just like stop and think about it, like because you're gonna go through a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, what you really, really want to do, just do it. Don't wait for it. You feel me? Like
The second message goes out to your family. You know, what is it that you want to say to whether it's specific family members or just, again, in general, just
in general,
from
yeah.
you?
From me now or like at a young age.
No, you now.
From me now,
No, I guess we can
it's
start with that because there's a lot
well,
of shit that they don't know. Like, what is something that you've
well,
always
like,
wanted to tell them type shit?
well, I mean, like it's very straightforward. Like I appreciate the ones who was there, and I appreciate the ones who wasn't there. I I I appreciate the fake love that I've seen, and I appreciate the real love. I appreciate it all.
Anybody you want to shout out in particular? Mom, dad, favorite cousin, auntie, uncle, grandpa?
Well, I'm always shout out my my grandparents that aren't here anymore. Shout out to y'all. Let me shout out to my cousin that I looked at as my favorite grandma. She ain't here no more either. You know what I'm saying? And then always shout out my two bodyguards, my two OGs, my Mama Dukes and my little sister and shit. You feel me?
That's a fact. So your third message goes out to your friends. Anybody you want to shout out on the app, off the app. Friends that you might see that like show this to. In the future.
Listen, shout out my homeboy Ace Smoke. Shout out my one of my best friends, Billy, from high school and shit. I mean, everybody on Bigo, you feel me? Y'all know who y'all is. I can't I can't go into everybody's name and shit because I'm very bad at that, so fuck that. But I do want to give a shout out to my old friends that I had to cut them off. I appreciate y'all for showing me the real you. You feel me? Made it easier for me and shit. Shout out to all y'all dickheads. But you know, I give love, man. Like I ain't got no bad juju with nobody. Just there's gonna be a time in your life where this might be the last time we ever talk. You just gotta appreciate the time that we was given. It didn't work out, so I appreciate the time given. You feel me? So nothing else, man.